Welcome into another edition of the AHSAA Podcast. I'm your host, Caleb Brooks, soon to be joined by Gabe Marsh, member of the Guntersville High School Swim team. And if you don't know about Gabe and his story, Gabe is very inspirational, very inspiring. Was born with only one arm and no legs, and has found a way to be a part of the Guntersville swim team, and not only be a part of it, but be a trendsetter. Gabe has kind of now paved the way for kids in the future who have some similar disabilities to still be able to compete, to be a part of the swim meets and the matches that they have there on the swim team. And, he's just shown a lot of other people. I mean, he obviously has, some things that have hindered him, and yet he's found a way to make the most out of it and to be as normal as possible. And, from what I've been told, Gabe is a great guy and a great person. And I really look forward to speaking with him and kind of hearing his story and, what kind of motivated him to get into this and to do all of this and to kind of be the person who he has become. He was awarded the Bryant-Jordan scholarship, and he'll be heading to Sneed next year, and just is set up for so much success, I think, in the future. And he's done a lot of it on his own. I mean, he could have easily just let all this kind of hinder him and keep him from doing stuff. And instead he's found a way to, not only just be a good person, but be a great athlete as well. And, he has aspirations to go and compete in the Paralympics and to be a part of that on the USA team. And, look, anytime we can have someone from the state of Alabama representing us on a worldwide scale, it's always a positive thing. And hopefully he's going to be able to do that. And then I'll be joined by Christopher Vizzina, new Clemson quarterback commit. Christopher Vizzina, he committed last week to Clemson and to Dabo Swinney up there. And obviously Dabo has a great connection with the AHSAA, having played in it. He knows a lot of coaches from here and built a great relationship with Coach Forrester, with Christopher Vizzina there. And Christopher finally makes the decision to commit to Clemson and, is set now to sign with them in December and go be a part of a fantastic program up there. I mean, outside of Alabama and Georgia, I mean, Clemson is they're right there with those two, with who's been dominant in college football. And so he's going and he's going to get to go play in some of the biggest games and against some of the best players that you can find in college football. And he's earned it with what he's done and had a great year last year. And I know he's set up now to have an even better year his senior year as they enter into a new region there at Briarwood High School. So set to talk with Gabe Marsh and Christopher Vizzina, and we will send you over to those conversations right now. I want to welcome in my next guest here on the AHSAA podcast, Gabe Marsh from Guntersville High School up in Guntersville, Alabama. And Gabe is a swimmer in the swim team there for Guntersville High School and is also now a recipient of the Bryant-Jordan Scholarship Award. And, Gabe, for you, man, congratulations on, number one, just a fantastic high school career with what you were able to accomplish as a swimmer and what you've been able to do as an athlete, but then also with the Bryant-Jordan Award and being a part of that and, just even having your name mentioned in, with some of the other athletes that have been put up for that award. Congratulations on that as well.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Kind of tell everybody a little bit about yourself. Where did your love for swimming really come from? And what was it about swimming that really attracted you to that sport?
My whole family, they are all been taught to swim around the age of 4. And they're all adopted too. So my mom would always bring in a kid, and when she's adopts him, she'll teach him to swim. And so whenever she got me, that was the main thing. It was to teach him to swim. And so she tried everything to teach him to swim. So she never gave him me. But she could never teach me to do it. So I had to teach myself to do it. And then she brought me down to the rec center for Guntersville to swim on their swim team. And she begged for them to let me try let me try to prove that I could swim. So I didn't want to let her down. So I tried everything I had. And, of course, I'm on the swim team now. So I made it. And apparently I was the first kid to ever swim in a straight line without having to stop. And also, it's the other reason why I stayed to swim is mostly just because I kind of inspire other swimmers to keep doing what they want to do. And I can, my bad.
No, you're good. I mean,
Okay.
I was just going to ask you, like, is that something that has always been something, I mean, like knowing that you are inspiring some other people and that you are kind of showing, hey, if I can do this, then you can do this too. And is that something that does kind of motivate you with this all the time?
Yeah, mostly yes. It used to. It's the main thing that keeps me going most of the time.
Tell me about, what was kind of the most difficult part? I mean, no legs, one arm. What was the most difficult part of learning how to swim and figuring out the best way for you to be successful at this?
I mean, if I'm being honest, it really wasn't that hard. Whenever like my mom, she couldn't teach me, so she put me into swimming lessons, and even the some teacher couldn't teach me either. So I would be on the stairs at the pool, and I'd just be watching all the other kids that were there. And then I was watching. I would take notes, well, not take notes. Like I would take in what I was seeing, and so I used my own kind of swimming. But like I used to hold my breath when I was younger, and swim underwater and use the ground to push myself around. So, and then that was my first time to actually swim by myself. And then eventually so on, I eventually just like somehow started to swim above water. I mean, I can't really explain how that happened. I just heard a voice in my head to like just jump in and swim. And so I just listened to the voice in my head and just jumped in and swam.
And it's obviously worked out for you here in the long run. So, I mean, kind of tell me, what, the competitions and stuff, and everybody loves to swim. I love to go swimming in the summer, whether it's in a pool, at the lake, whatever. But the competition part of it, what do you enjoy the most about competing in swimming?
If it's the Paralympics,
yeah.
If it's the Paralympics, and I just want to beat them. I want to beat whoever's beside me. Like I just want to beat them. And then in my regular swim team, it's more of like starting this new thing. It's this new program that's in the regular swim meet, like a high school swim, where it's like for disabilities. And I started up the thing. So now any kid who has disabilities can have their own times and can swim against their other disability kids in the States and stuff like that. So they can have more of a chance to like win medals and become like a state champion. So it's two different worlds: to beat others in Paralympics, and then to help others in swimming, regular swimming.
That has to be something that has to be pretty satisfying, knowing that you can go do one thing where you're competing, you're trying to beat everybody, and then then you have another thing where hey, in the long run, like what I'm doing is going to really benefit a lot of other people, and it's going to make a big difference. And how does that make you feel to know that you are at such a young age making a big difference, and you are kind of setting something in stone for kids that are going to come along with some of the same disabilities to be able to take advantage of and to have opportunities that maybe weren't there for you at the beginning of all this?
In the beginning, I didn't really like it that much because I'll be the only person who had like disabilities. So they put me by myself in the States, and I just get medals that to me weren't truly earned. So like I would always, like I would never accept the medal, but I had to take it though because because my mom would make me do it. And well, when we get home, she always has to give me a talk. She's like, you may not know it, but you're helping other kids be inspired to swim and help them come out of their shyness and stuff like that. And so like when she kept on telling me that every time that I would go to state. And so like I eventually just it just in my head, and I say, well, if I can't change it, then I guess I gotta help it. So and so I eventually started taking the medals, but I still don't like the medals, but I still do it for the kids that are gonna come after me. So
tell me about, with the one arm that you have. I mean, anybody can look at it. It's a strong arm. I mean, you've got some good muscle on there and all that.
I get that a lot.
What have you done? Like, did you know, okay, hey, I've got this one arm here that I'm going to have to be able to use. So let's go make sure that it's the strongest that it can be and that it can do, whatever I need it to do to help me succeed. Was that kind of the mindset when you first got into doing athletics and stuff?
Well, if I'm being honest, I never really get tired in this arm, so like I never really noticed the muscle growth and I just went on with my life, and then like everyone would give me a compliment. I was like, look at my arms. Well, I guess it is big. And so nowadays I always wear like a sleeveless shirt just so I can show it off once in a while.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah. And for athletics, I never really had any problems with strength and doing sports. Like I do like gymnastics and stuff like that. And like it was don't want to be cocky or nothing, but it was pretty easy to me. Like doing pull-ups or doing push-ups or doing flips like that with this arm. It was very easy. And like I did shot put too. And like the first or second day, I passed half the guys and the girls in shot put too. So
where have those sports helped you the most? You know, like doing the shot put and track and field, and then also doing gymnastics. Where have they helped you when it comes to swimming the most in your mind?
For gymnastics, it would help me like you always had to like make your joints go this way and all that stuff like that. And then in swimming, you always got to do that with your hand. So I could always loosen the joint in my shoulder. It's like it made me like my arm more agile or something like that. And then for shot put, it was a kind of like a 1 week thing because like I hurt my pelvis and I couldn't, and then, so I couldn't walk on it. So I had to use my arm and then this side as a handstand, and I had to like move around like that for like a very long time. Well, not very long time, like maybe like 2 to 3 days, and I was just completely sore. So like it built up my muscles while I was like that. So I mean, if you can count that as kind of helping, well, then yeah, I guess it did help.
So, you know, we talked about the competition, that all that type of stuff. Kind of describe the state meet for me. You know, I mean, that to me, that's one of the most fun times of the year where all the top swimmers in the state are at this one place. Everybody's competing for a state championship. Anybody that cares about swimming is there at the event. How fun is that event to go and be a part of every year?
It's pretty fun actually. Like one best part is being out of school, of course, and then we go to Auburn for the sometimes go to Auburn for the meet, and I just looking around at the things, like it's like I can go look at the college and stuff like that. So it's very nice to go down there. And then the swimmers, they're all super nice too. And like I know half the swim teams because they usually know me, and then they always like talk to me and everything like that. They always tell me that I'm very inspiring and stuff like that. And then I used to go to Scottsboro to swim over on their swim team too. So I basically have 2 families there. So like I just go down to Scottsboro and I like talk to them, and then I go back to my own swim team. And then we'll have like whenever I was swimming, and when I'm on the block, like both the swim teams are both beside me, and they're always yelling my name out. So you know it's very fun to be there because everyone always shouts your name out. Well, they shout my name out like all the time, and sometimes I don't like it that much because like that's all I hear is like since I was 4 years old I heard it, and now I'm 18 years old and I still hear it. So you know it's awesome, but then at the same time, I mean, you're just used to it, I guess.
Yeah. You know, you kind of talked about at the beginning, you didn't like the fact that, you know, you were inspiring, you know, you just wanted to kind of be, you know, normal and all that. And then now you've kind of accepted it. What point did you kind of accept that, you know, hey, I am inspiring other people and I am making a difference and I need to just, you know, take this on and you know, go forward and, you know, go out and inspire people and just accept that that's what I'm doing out here?
It's probably around, it's probably around like junior year, mostly. It's probably because like that's whenever we started the program for regular swimming for the disabilities. And there's this I got this letter from this kid who has something wrong with his what's it called? His spinal thing. I forgot what it's called. And like he can't walk really well, and his legs are, I think his legs are paralyzed too. And he saw me swimming, and he was like around like he has to be like 8 or 9. And like his mom told us how he started swimming because he saw me there. And so like it just opened my eyes to like how like I used to be selfish about about not caring about others because I just wanted to be normal, and I I just couldn't accept the fact that I wasn't normal. So all I wanted to do is just prove myself that I could be just like them. And I don't care if I did inspire people back then. But then now I can, like, if I inspire anyone, it's just like, it's joy, to be honest. It keeps me smiling a lot. So, like whenever I'm down, I just think about the people I helped, and it's just just joy. I love it when I inspire people, to be honest.
Do you credit maturity a little bit to that too? I mean, just growing up, kind of maturing a little bit, and just finally kind of getting an understanding of,
Yeah.
Hey, I people are kind of looking at me, and I am kind of helping. Do you think that just maturing a little bit and then having a better understanding of what you were doing helped you kind of accept it as well?
Yeah, like in swimming, sports.
Yeah.
Inspiring people. I didn't really care much about it because, like, I would say if I can do it, then you can do it. There's no excuse. And then I speak. I'm a speaker too, and my pastor or my mentor, John Henderson, me and him will go to schools and churches and camps like that, and we'll go speaking. And like I knew I could change people. So there was two different worlds. Like I didn't really care about if I inspire people in athletics. I really cared about helping people like in their in their heads, talking about like they,
Yeah.
like some people, like some of them, like some of the kids there were like I can tell like they were depressed and they were hurt, and like I cared about that, but I didn't really care about like helping others to do sports. So like it kind of was maturity, or it was just kind of me just being blind to myself. But yes, it was maturity.
You talk about going and speaking to kids and stuff like that. Number one, how much more comfortable have you gotten doing that now that you've done it a little bit more? And what was maybe the scariest part of doing that at the beginning of going and talking to kids and, having a kind of public speak for the first time like that?
Oh, it was around like 10 or 9 when I started speaking with my mentor. We go to Albertville, and Albert was a pretty big school. And like they had like a big auditorium room, and it's like at least 1,000 seats there. And so like almost half the seats were full. And it was my first speaking gig ever. So, I was sweating and everything. And there's like this big bowl of candy, the Sour Patch Kids. And so I just eat them away. And then I had a sugar rush. Well, sugar coma. And so I was almost passed out. And then John comes in, he's like, "Come on, bro, we gotta go out there." And I said, "What?" and so I was out there, and I was sweating. I was doing this half the time, and I was in my wheelchair too. So I was really nervous, and I start to stutter too. So my name is Gabe Marsh, and so it was completely different then. But like now I can speak about anything half the time. But like the Bryant-Jordan award, it was accepting the award and having a speech. And I winged it too because I did not plan at all. So I was pretty nervous about that one too, because like if you don't plan nothing, then yeah, you can be nervous. But then like I just realized, hey, I'm used to this. I should be good. And so I just spoke with my heart, and then like whenever I don't practice or anything like that, all I do is just think about what I need to say to people, and now it just goes on. I'm just used to it now.
The Bryant-Jordan banquet, that you guys were a part of, where you spoke at, that type of stuff. How fun is that, to go see some of the other award winners, people that from different schools, different areas that you've, probably never seen before, getting to meet them. That has to be a lot of fun to be a part of that event and to see some of the people that are there and meet some new people at that.
Oh, it was really fun actually. Met a lot of people there. Even people I didn't know. Like they're paying to take some of these famous people from Alabama. I forgot his name, Greg McFoy or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
He was there, and I didn't know who he was. And so my mom and dad, they're big Alabama fans. And then the person that hosted my essay, her name was Jackie, and she hosted me and she was there too. And so he said "Roll Tide," and I'm not a big Alabama fan, so I didn't really say it back, but my family did. And then they all got on me for not saying "Roll Tide" because I didn't know who he was.
Yeah.
So he said, "You don't know who that is?" I said, "I do not." He said, "You must not watch football that much." I said, "No, I don't." And so I kind of felt a little embarrassed for not knowing some of those people there. but that's it. I didn't really care because
Yeah.
I won an award, so I was really happy about that.
Nah, yeah, you were the star of the show that night.
I mean, I wouldn't say that, but yeah, I noticed that I was because like I was going out there on the red carpet, and I forgot the guy, the chairman, forgot his name. He was on the mic and he saw me pass, and of course he shouts out my name and like he didn't shout no one else's, but he shot my name out as soon as I was passing him. So it kind of gave me a big head there, and then and then like we were leaving, well, like after the ceremony was done, and like everyone was like talking to each other and everything. Like almost every parent there was like having to come up to shake my hand. And they always tell me, he said, before I leave, I gotta shake your hand. You're a very inspirational person. And so that gave me an even more bigger head. And then and then these interviewers came up to me. I didn't know I forgot what I forgot what it was for. And they said, can we interview you and everything like that. So, that gave me a big head too. And like the whole night, everyone was giving me a big head, if I'm being honest. I mean, yeah, I was just starting the show, I guess. And then meeting the contenders, other athletes, they were also pretty cool too. Like we were waiting out there, and we were all nervous and everything like that. And like some of us have like sweaty hands and stuff like that. We'll talk to each other and say, "Yeah, I'm so nervous." I said, "Yeah, I am too." And then we met like a lot of people there, and so like we stay in contact with each other too. So I mean, it's pretty awesome because we met friends. That's what I like about it, meeting other people most of the time.
You said, you didn't know who Greg McElroy was, and you don't watch football. Do you watch other sports? Like, are you really into just swimming and, gymnastics and that type of stuff?
Well, I actually don't really watch sports in general. I mean, I watch football once in a while. Like, I don't watch like every time it comes on. And I do watch basketball too, but I don't watch like all the time too. I mean, I'm like I go on and off on it. But I do like football and basketball though. And yeah.
Awesome. So, I mean, your plans now, you're going to be heading to Snead State this next year, and you're going to continue, your academics there. And then you have aspirations to be a part of the Paralympic team by as soon as 2024. So, I mean, kind of tell me what the process would be for you to be a part of the USA Paralympic team, and, what you would have to do in order to put yourself in a position to have that chance.
It's well, you gotta have these certain times, and I'm at 48 last time I saw, and to qualify you need like 30, 35 or 30 seconds. So I'm kind of close, at the same time I'm not close, and so I just gotta practice more, and I just need to find more motivation to like to push myself even further, beyond my limits. And I want to so I'm practicing. I mean, it's kind of hard now because like I just can't get motivated that much, mostly because like swim team's over, so like I'm too old to swim on the swim team. So like I got to go to Albertville's Rec Center, and I practice by myself, and I'm just used to people around me like talking to me, and like someone gives me orders to like do butterfly or backstroke like that. I'm just used to that. I'm not used to like give myself, like orders. I already don't order myself around that much, and so like it kind of gets a little lonely whenever I'm swimming myself. But then like there's other people that's there that swims once in a while, and like they know me because they always say, "Ain't she that boy on the newspaper?" and so it kind of gives me a big head before I started practicing. I said, "Yes, sir, I am. I am on the newspaper." He said, "Well, it's a very good article. I love it. You motivate me too." And I said, "Well, thank you." And so I just get in this, and sometimes that gives me motivation to keep going, because like if I know I'm motivating people today, then I'm gonna motivate myself today too. So and
I was just going to ask you, I mean, like, is that what you're going to miss the most? You kind of talked about, your teammates that were there that were pushing you, your coach kind of giving you orders, telling you what to do. Is that what you're going to probably miss the most about being on the swim team? Is not necessarily the meets and all that, but your teammates and the people that were a part of that swim team there with you?
Yes, sir. I just miss the friends. I don't care about the fame. I just care about the friends. I mean, the fame, it's awesome and all, but friends are just way much better to have beside you. I'm going to miss it. But I'm gonna start swimming at Birmingham in this Paralympic training area. So there might be some other Paralympic swimmers there too. So hopefully I can make more friends there and start to practice there too. So
yeah, should be awesome. And then you also write for the newspaper there in Guntersville. Is it the school newspaper or is it the actual?
It's for the journalism. It's just for like a yearbook and stuff like that.
Okay.
And I actually don't write it. It's this girl that's in my class named Addie Smith, and she writes it. She writes it, and she just like goes around and asks the athletes like how they feel on their about the games and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So she'll eventually ask me too. So
okay, I got you.
Yes, sir.
Well, I mean, what are kind of your plan? You're going to Snead, doing all that. After Snead, do you know where you want to go? What you're trying to major in? Any of that type of stuff?
Yes, sir. For 2 years for my basics, I'm gonna do Snead first, and then for my the thing I want to be is theology, and I want to become a preacher, so I can travel around because I like to travel around. That's what swimming, Paralympic swimming, you travel around. You go like Miami or Florida or North Carolina, stuff like that. So like if I can like swim and preach at the same time, I mean that's pretty awesome. To me, that's a dream come true. And then a motivational speaker too. Like I want to become like a preacher and a motivational speaker, because sometimes people don't want to hear about gospel. They want to hear about motivation. They want to hear what I see on the side of my story, And then so I want to go like, actually I haven't really thought about the second college I want to go to, because like I heard a lot of good Christian colleges to go to. And the most one I heard is probably Liberty in Georgia, I'm pretty sure. So I'm still thinking about which college I'm going to for that one. I mean, Snead, that's definitely what I'm going to do next.
So you'll be at Snead. You're going to be working for the Paralympics like we were talking about. And so you're planning now to go to Birmingham some and train there and see if that can help, kind of help you have a better, work, being able to have someone there that can kind of coach you and do that type of stuff. Is that kind of what you're looking for when going to Birmingham?
Yes. Awesome. I'm mostly been taught a lot of things. So like, I mean, whenever like a new coach that tells me to do stuff, I mean, it's kind of like an instinct. Like, I like it whenever a coach tells me something new and something that can actually help me. And like, I mean, I do love the ones that try to coach me and stuff like that. But like, if I know it, then it's already in my mindset. I want to hear things that can actually make me faster. So like, one of my coaches at Scarthborough, his name was, I forgot his name. I forgot his name, but he was a really good friend of mine. He will always push me, and he'll always make me do like at least 8 laps without stopping. And he'll make me do the hardest stroke ever too, butterfly. And he'll make me do that, and he'll always push me. And he'll always come with these new ideas to like balance your posture in swimming. Like he'll even get a cup and he put water in it, but halfway in, and he puts it on your forehead and he'll make you do backstroke. So all you gotta do is make your body stay still above water, but make your arms push you. So it's like if you mess up on any of your strokes, like the water will come out and he'll make you start all the way back over to the start of it, and he'll make you do it again. So like I like a coach who has new ways to better yourself. That's what I like. And so hopefully the coach that I talked to down there, hopefully she can do that too.
Awesome, man. Well, Gabe, really, really appreciate you taking the time to join me on here on the AHSAA podcast, man. Again, congratulations to you on everything that you've been able to accomplish as an athlete and just as a person, going and doing all the speaking engagements that you do and, kind of helping motivate others and inspire others. I mean, and you really do a great job of that. So congratulations to you on everything that you've accomplished, and good luck to you as you head to Snead next year. And as you try to go and be a part of the USA Paralympic team, man, I look forward to seeing how that goes for you also.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
Have a good one, man. Appreciate it.
You too. See you, sir.
I want to welcome in my next guest here on the AHSAA podcast, Christopher Vizzina, now new Clemson quarterback commit. Christopher Vizzina. And Christopher, man, first of all, man, congratulations to you on that. As I was telling you before we went live here, I mean, just such an awesome thing to not only be able to play Division I college football, but to go to a place who's won, 2 of the last 6 national championships. It's a pretty awesome thing to go be a part of a program like that.
Sir, thank you.
Kind of tell me about, obviously Dabo Swinney has a relationship with a lot of coaches in the state of Alabama. He knows the Birmingham area super well. How much did that kind of help in creating the relationship that y'all were able to create with each other?
I mean, yeah. Just when I started getting recruited by Clemson, talking to Coach Swinney, he knew, about 119 and 280 and everything. And so, that was really easy for us to connect and everything. And Coach Swinney, he's always been down to earth, and he knows a lot of people that I know, and he played against all the teams I'm playing against. And so that's just kind of something we were talking about all the time. And we actually get to play Pelham this year, which will be pretty cool. And, but yeah, it's been really easy to connect with him just because, he's from the area I'm from. And, there's a lot of Bama guys up there in the Clemson staff and players. And so that's kind of what made me feel at home every time I've been there, with other things, but, just a lot of Alabama roots up there.
Andrew Zau's a guy that is up there that was at Sylacauga High School before he went up this past season. Did you have any kind of relationship with him before getting, recruited or going up there or anything? And, how did you get to know him while being up there or anything?
Yes, sir. I got to know him, after a couple of visits and everything. I see him every time. But I didn't know him before. But that's been the cool part is, finding out all these guys are from where I'm from and, building relationships off of that. So that's been pretty cool.
When you first started getting calls by coaches and texts and, you started kind of getting that realization of, hey, I am going to have an opportunity to go play football. Just what was that like for you?
It was really just this whole process has been crazy. I mean, it kind of started before my 9th grade year when I got my first offer from UAB. And then after that, it was kind of slow. I was a freshman, but that was when I was really deciding this is what I want to do. And so after my freshman year, I had some big schools calling like Michigan, Clemson, and Florida. And so from then on, I was like, I think I might be pretty good at this. So I'm going to keep working. And so then, COVID hit and everything. So it kind of set me back. But that's when I kind of really realized man, this is going to take a lot of hard work, but I can do it. And so just from then on, there's just been certain days where really key moments where I decided, I'm going to really work for this. And so when all these big schools did start calling, I was very humbled by, I kind of thought man, I've worked really hard for this. And I feel like I do deserve it. And so it's been a great journey. And now that I've come to my decision and, I'm going to Clemson, it feels great, but it's been a great journey.
Yeah, at a really young age, you were able to do a lot with this Briarwood football program and, taking them very deep in the playoffs. And when you look back at that time to, when you were a young, inexperienced quarterback to now, I mean, just how much more comfortable have you gotten playing the quarterback position? And where do you feel like you've been able to improve the most from your 9th grade year to now entering your senior year?
I mean, I really feel like it's night and day. But I mean, I think going in there as a 14-year-old freshman it's been one of really the key moments of my whole career. And so kind of figuring out man, this is how it really is. And then the year after figuring out, what things I need to work on. So every year it's been different, but it's all been because of that. And so just the players I've got to play with and the coaches that have coached me, all of that has formed me into the player I am today. And so, every year I walk away with new things and the same things I need to work on. And so, like I said, over the past few years, that's just kind of come together, and that's how the player I am today. So.
If you're like me, you're probably sitting there in 7th, 8th grade, watching guys get recruited and going, I wonder what that's like. What is it like? What is the whole process like and everything? What is one thing that maybe surprised you or something that you didn't expect about the recruiting process that, happened once you started getting recruiting?
Probably all the attention. I mean, I knew there was going to be a lot of attention, but I also didn't know what level I was going to be recruited at. And so it kind of just started off kind of slow. And then it started early, but it started off kind of slow. And then at some point it just skyrocketed. And when September 1st hit this year, my phone was blowing up so much it almost made me want to put it down. And so I wasn't really expecting that, but it's been such a huge blessing and everything. And it was a great process.
being, nationally ranked the way that you are, being one of the top quarterbacks in the whole country. I mean, what, when you see that for the first time, like, when you see that list come out and your name's there and all that, I mean, like, what is that like to see that you are, are considered not only a great player, but just one of the top players in this whole entire country?
It's a great feeling. I mean, I try not to pay too much attention to it, but it's a huge blessing. And like, it kind of reminds me, of all the hard work I've put in and all the, sacrificed all my time and all of that. And so, when I look at that list, I see a bunch of other names that, I know those kids are working really hard. So that's kind of some motivation. Every day I go in the weight room or on the fields, like, I want to be one of the top quarterbacks and I want to continue to be, one of the top quarterbacks. So
how much did it help, looking at Taj Boyd that's come from there, Deshaun Watson, we just saw Trevor Lawrence. I mean, did that kind of attract you to Clemson? I mean, outside of the relationships, all that, looking and going, hey, they've produced some pretty good NFL quarterbacks over the last 10 years.
Oh,
here
yeah.
as well.
Yes, sir. I mean, my dream is to play in the NFL. And so I feel like the coaching staff up there at Clemson, they can really help me develop as a person and a quarterback to get me to that point. So it was definitely a very attractive part of it.
Did you get to go down the slide when you've been on a visit up there?
I've been a couple times. It's really cool because I don't think anybody else in the country really has anything like that. And so it's kind of like, when you walk into all these nice facilities, it's like, they're really nice and they blow you away, but it's kind of like business. And then Clemson is business, but, they always have a nice twist on it and everything. So I think that's what kind of the slide symbolizes and everything.
What are some of the other stuff that they have at their facility up there? I mean, I've watched a video before, but I know that they added, I mean, isn't there like a little putt course or something like that that's up there?
They have an outdoor basketball court and they have a putt course. They've got a little mini wiffle ball field and really a bunch of cool stuff like that. And I kind of fell in love with, just Clemson as a whole, just, kind of because the whole university is kind of fun like that, but it's also really, all the people there are really hard working. And so that's kind of something I really wanted to be a part of, is like with a group of people like that. And so that's kind of how I fell in love with the campus. But yeah, they have a bunch of cool stuff like that and everything.
Everybody that you talk to that talks about Clemson and Auburn, they compare the campuses and how similar they look. And did you kind of notice the same thing when you were at both places?
Yes, sir. I mean, everybody's told me they're really similar, but when I first did go up there, it kind of felt like a smaller Auburn. And so it kind of did feel like home. I mean, I've been to Auburn a bunch of times and it was really easy to feel at home.
Making the decision to leave the state, was that something that was tough to do? Like was there a part of you going, there's probably going to be some people that are upset that I'm not staying in the state of Alabama to play it, wherever. I mean, so was that tough, or was it like, I don't really care what other people think, I'm going to go what's best for me?
I mean, it was really hard because, I feel like there's a lot of people here that really support me and really believe in me. And so, a lot of those people, they wanted me to go to Auburn or Alabama, but at the end of the day, I made the best decision for myself and for my family. And so it wasn't too hard, but I did think about, leaving everybody, but it is what it is. So
have you gotten to run down the hill yet? Like, is that part of the visits when you go there? Do they let y'all run down the hill?
Not the real one. I did get to walk down or run down a fake one they have in the facility. It's not as big, but it kind of tells you or shows you how steep it is and everything. And it was really cool.
I feel like they have to practice that run out, to make sure that everybody's not falling as they're running down the hill and everything. I feel like that's something that they kind of have to practice there in order to.
And then if you watch them do it on live TV, Coach Shawini's full hauling it down the whole thing. So I'm surprised how he doesn't get hurt, but there's been a lot of guys, kind of slip up, rolling their ankle and everything. So I'm pretty sure they do practice it.
I'll tell you, my family went on a visit. My brother was going up and playing in Cooperstown a couple summers ago, and they went to Clemson, and it was open, they could walk around the field and stuff. And they walked over towards the rock, and as soon as they did, this thing came over the speaker, and it was like, you are now under surveillance of Clemson or whatever. And my little brother was like, we got to get out of here. So he took off down the hill and sprinted probably faster than Dabo Sweeney down the field. And that's always been a funny story for them of being right there beside the rock, and they said something came over and went over the rock real quick and made sure that nobody took it. And how important is that though? The rock there. Howard's Rock, is that something that they talk about to you guys, the significance of it and the tradition of what that is for Clemson football?
All the time, really. There's so many videos and pictures of past teams and former players, how it was, all the fans around, and, when they play Florida State or somebody at night, how packed it is. And you see people like Taj Boyd touch it and run down. And so, I'm really excited to do that one day. I feel like when I'm up there, it's primetime game at night and you kind of feel the crowd and everything. I feel like, when I stand right there, it's going to be like pretty surreal. I'm going to kind of feel like, all the hard work's paid off, but, I'm still continue put in hard work, but it's going to be really surreal when that happens.
I go back on YouTube sometimes and watch the video of the year that Jameis Winston and them went up there to Clemson, and they followed them, like they went and got on the bus with them and rode around on the bus, and like ESPN followed them out. Like that's one of the coolest things, how they go get on the bus and they bus around. All the fans are going crazy out there and stuff. And yeah, not that like went into the decision or anything, but was that something where you were like, that's pretty cool. I'm going to get to like go and do that. And like, that makes this place a little bit more attractive, that I get to do something unique that not a lot of other college football programs get to do.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's kind of how I feel about Clemson. Is it's a very unique place with a unique program. And so there's not really anywhere else like it. I mean, they compete for national championships and they have fun doing it, and they're working hard all the time, and they have, really unique stuff like that. And so, all of that kind of played into it. But, when I was looking at it, the rock was pretty cool and everything.
Talking about competing for national championships, was that something that was important with your recruitment of, I want to go to a school who each and every year I know has a chance to go win a national championship?
It was definitely, I wouldn't say it was a huge part, but it also wasn't a small part of it either. It kind of, I thought about it a lot, and I do want to win a national championship. And so if you kind of look at the schools that I had in my last top 6, all those people, they can play at a very high level and compete for a national championship. And, Clemson ended up being the place I really wanted to play at. So.
Kind of switching gears, tell me about this Briarwood football team this year. When are you guys getting ready for spring football? Are you guys doing spring football, and what's kind of y'all's plan?
We got a couple weeks until it's coming up fast. And, something I'm really excited about this team is, it'll be my 4th year and Coach Forster's 4th year. And, this is really like, we were all freshmen when Coach Forster, his first year. And so this will be like the team that's been here all 4 years. And so these are my best friends. I've grown up, or the past couple of years, I've been playing with kids that have been treating me amazingly, but these aren't the kids I've really grown up with, from like middle school and everything. And so these are my best friends, and I'm excited to work really hard with them and, see how we can develop as a team. And then when the season comes, I know we'll be super tight and everything. Just through going through summer and the spring, just being with my best friends is something I'm really excited about.
You mentioned it earlier, Pelham is now coming onto the schedule. You guys are entering into a whole new region with Pelham, Helena, Chilton County, Calera, Benjamin Russell being in there, Homewood, obviously. How exciting is that, to change regions, change opponents, and to get to see new people, new places, that type of stuff?
Oh, it's super exciting. I love playing against all the teams we played the past couple of years, but to do something a little different is very exciting.
When you look at this team, obviously you haven't started spring or anything, but what is coming back. What do you kind of view as what's going to be the strength of this Briarwood football team heading into this next year?
I feel like it's going to be leadership. I think my senior class we're going to be really great leaders to, lead the younger guys. And so next couple of years, they'll have those same traits. But that's something I'm excited about is, how my grade is going to develop into leaders, because we're going to need I'm not sure how many seniors we're going to have, but we're going to need all of us to be great leaders. And so I feel like that's really going to translate onto the field when we play our first game. And that's what I'm excited about.
You guys have kind of fluctuated between 5A, 6A there at Briarwood and stuff. You guys have been doing it at, one of you could argue is the toughest classification to win a state championship in any sport. And does that make, doing this even more fun, knowing that you are playing in, one of the toughest classifications in 6A, and you look at some of the prospects that are all around 6A and like, does that make it exciting to be a part of that and to know that you're playing at such a high level here in the state?
Absolutely. It kind of, it reminds you every week that you have to be at your best. You can't really slack off at all. And so, when we go to practice, we realize that when we're working hard every day. And, I'm really glad we get to play a really tough schedule this year. And so I'm excited to play all these teams, and I'm excited to, watch us grow as a team.
Where do you kind of feel like, coming from the region that you guys were just a part of, which, a lot of people argued was maybe the toughest region in 6A, where do you think that can benefit y'all coming into this new region with these new teams?
Mm-hmm. I feel like it's really going to benefit us. Like, we're going to have a lot of returning players. We're also going to have a lot of new players, but, just playing a tough schedule like we did last year and the year before, I feel like it's going to really help us just, learning how to practice the right way. And, because we're going to have to practice, like I said, we're going to have to practice hard, every day, and that's going to help us. And so
What are you going to be working on the most, especially here in the spring? Like, where do you feel like you have to improve as a quarterback the most?
Everybody asks me that. I feel like it's really everything. I don't really feel like I feel like I'm a great quarterback, but I feel like I'm nowhere near where I can be. And so I'm working on everything. I'm, helping my teammates work on, whatever they need to work on. And my coaches are helping me. My teammates are helping me. So as a whole, we're all working really hard and we're all getting better.
Looking at the summer, with you now being committed, things like that. Are you going to be going to camps or anything like that? Or are you going to pretty much just be there at Briarwood and really kind of focused on this senior season coming up?
That's what I'm really excited about. I'll be gone for the Elite 11 1 week, but that's it. I'm going to be here all the time. And really last year I went to a bunch of camps, but I'd never missed, any practices or anything. And so I'm excited, kind of that this process is over. I can really just focus on the team, focus on winning a state championship and working hard. And so I'm excited about that.
I'm sure you're like me and you've watched the Elite 11 on TV and the documentaries that they do about it and all that type of stuff. What's it like to know that you're going to be a part of that and you're going to be in that stuff now?
It's very exciting. Me and my dad have been watching, all the YouTube videos the past couple of weeks. In middle school is when I kind of decided that's what I wanted to do. Or really after, probably before my 9th grade year when I decided I really wanted to be, play quarterback and everything. But, it's very exciting because if you look at all the quarterbacks that have been there and have gone to that the past couple of years, those guys are in the NFL. And so to think I have the opportunity to do that and be coached by such great coaches up there, it'll be in Los Angeles, which will be pretty cool. But just to be coached by those guys and then kind of, get to compete with the guys that you see on that list that you mentioned, you see the top quarterbacks, to see those guys and compete with those guys in person and, kind of build a bond with those guys will be pretty cool.
Where do you feel like that can benefit you the most? Being around some of those other guys, an Arch Manning or an Eli Holstein or any of those guys that you're going to be with, where do you think that being around them can help you the most as a football player?
Probably just, we're all going to be competing, so we're all going to be pushing each other. We all have that competitive edge to us. We don't want to lose. And so it's a competition up there, which is going to be really exciting. And I don't want to lose. I want to win it all when I go up there. And so I'm not going to back down from anybody, but, being with those guys will help just building a bond with them and, kind of seeing how they do things too. Cause these are quarterbacks from across the country. And so I think in all those ways, it's going to help us.
Do you have a chip on your shoulder going into it? Like knowing that a couple of other guys are ranked ahead of you, does that give you a little bit of a chip of, I'm going to go prove that maybe I am the best quarterback here in the country?
Absolutely. I look at that rankings sometimes and I kind of feel like I'm ranked too low. And so, I'm definitely going to go in there with a chip on my shoulder and I'm going to give it my all and it's going to be a lot of fun.
Do you kind of like the fact, like obviously Arch has gotten a lot of attention and all that. And like, it's kind of allowed to me, like some of you other quarterbacks to kind of fly under the radar and maybe not, get, have you enjoyed that of where, maybe, like you were just kind of able to go about your process normal, figure out what was best for you. And, he's got all this, everybody all over him all the time. And like, do you kind of feel like that maybe benefited you in a way where you didn't have all these people like all over you all the time and you were able to just kind of sit back and relax and make a decision that was best for you?
I wouldn't really say it was relaxing, but, it definitely, it kind of took some pressure off of me, I guess, but, it's really motivation because, I feel like I'm one of the best quarterbacks in the country. And so, just to see other guys like that getting that attention and me kind of flying under the radar, I feel like I shouldn't be flying under the radar. And so that was the motivation.
Hey, well, you don't have your opportunity when you go out to the Elite 11 to not be flying under the radar anymore. And that's going to be an awesome thing. And, hey, have you been out to LA? Is this going to be your first trip out to LA? Or?
It'll be my first trip. I'm really excited about it. I've actually never been, west of Texas. And so that'll be really cool.
Yeah, that's going to be an awesome opportunity. Well, man, listen, really, really appreciate you taking the time to jump on here and join me. Like I said at the beginning, I know you've probably been getting hit up by all these different people and stuff. And so I really appreciate you taking the time and good luck, man. It's going to be an awesome thing. I really look forward to seeing you this year. I went to school at Benjamin Russell, so I'll be keeping up with them and watching them when they play against you guys and looking forward to watching you and seeing how you do. And, wish you a lot of luck if I don't talk to you again before you go to Clemson. Good luck up there, man. It's an awesome opportunity and it's a great place to be.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Have a good one, man.
All right, you too.
That's going to do it for us here on the AHSAA podcast. I want to thank Gabe Marsh and Christopher Vizzina for taking the time to join me here on the AHSAA podcast. Gabe is super inspiring. I mean, there's days that I don't, feel like going and working out or doing, whatever. And it's people like him that you think about, and you think about the way that they probably don't want to do some stuff either. Were told they couldn't do some stuff and they found a way to do it. And that's kind of how Gabe is. And, it is interesting to hear him talk about how at first he didn't like, being seen as the guy who was inspiring to other people and all that type of stuff, but he's really, really accepted it now. And he has done a lot of work to try to help the AHSAA and help kids in the future and set them up to have opportunities to have success. Also want to thank Christopher Vizzina for coming on. He's a guy that we've heard a lot about for a long time now when it comes to playing quarterback and to being a prospect. And it's crazy to me. I mean, I've been hearing people talk about this kid since he was a freshman. It's crazy that he's a senior now and is committing to one of the best football programs that you can find in the whole entire country. So, good luck to him, and really appreciate him taking the time. I know he's probably been, hit up by so many different people for interviews and to have comments and all this stuff. And so really, really appreciate him taking the time to come on and join me here and talk about his commitment to Clemson. But that's going to do it for us. Another great episode of the AHSAA podcast. I'll be back next week. Again, episodes every Tuesday, every Friday. You can find us on Apple, on Spotify, on YouTube, other places that you can listen to podcasts as well. And we will continue to churn these out and continue to talk with great athletes, coaches, media members, and others associated with the AHSAA.